Second round Sunday here in New Haven, Connecticut. On this Mother's Day 2025, the 7th ranked Yale Bulldogs square off with the Syracuse Orange with a spot in the national quarterfinals on the line. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. With my partner, Christine Huber, I'm Justin Galanti. Thrilled to be with you. Christine, this is a quickly developing rivalry. It's the third meeting in 12 months between these two programs. Syracuse last year in the NCAA quarterfinal beat Yale handily, but in the regular season this year, it was Yale that beat Syracuse here, and now it's a second-round game in the NCAA tournament.
This is going to be revenge for both teams. Yale looking to revenge last year's game. Syracuse looking to revenge this season's game where they lost right here at Reese Stadium.
Let's take a look at how these two got here. Syracuse was really impressive, really dominated Brown in the first round.
They came out with such high energy. They played an amazing game, especially in the second quarter. 100% of the draws, and when they have the ball, they play with such confidence.
So from one Ivy League opponent to another for the Orange, Yale really survived what was a big-time test from Albany.
And those Great Danes put up a huge fight. They had Yale on their heels. Yale's able to come back, turn it up in the fourth quarter. Sky Carasquillo, 4 goals, 2 assists, rising to the occasion.
Danny Guyette has started every game in goal for Syracuse this year. Third team All-ACC, and for Yale, it is the first-year Neve Pfaff who took over as the starter in the middle of the season. And you see she is third in the country in goals against average. A spot in the national quarterfinal and a date with either defending national champion Boston College or Stony Brook is on the line. Jenna Collignan for Yale and Megan Rode for Syracuse, the draw takers. And we are underway in the second round of the NCAA tournament, and the first possession of the game will go to Yale, Christine. Draw controls were a huge story in the regular season win for Yale over Syracuse. They won 19 out of 27, and that was a big reason why they never trailed in that game.
It's going to be a huge battle today in the circle. Not just only the players taking the draw, but also those players in the circle getting involved, and they have to be scrappy to pick up every ground ball.
Now, another story is that in the regular season game, Kayla Traynor in Syracuse face-guarded Yale's top goal scorer, Jenna Collignan, for most of the first 3 quarters, sometimes face-guarded her and Fallon Vaughn. That is not happening on this opening possession. Caroline Burt with the ball for Yale, coming off a tough 12-9 win over Albany on Friday. Both teams played in the driving rain. It is perfect here today. Carasquillo saved by Guyette. Loose ball off the rebound, and Yale's got it. And here they come in an unsettled spot. Caroline Burt decides to pull it back and find Ashley Newman. Took Danny Guyette until the third quarter to make her first save of the game against Brown Friday. Makes a good stop quickly here.
She's right in front of it today already.
Here is Vaughn, leading point scorer for Yale. The All-American Guyette stuffed her and comes up with the rebound. So a good start for Danny Guyette and the Orange.
Nice saves for Guyette. Exactly what this Syracuse defense wants. They're coming out in that zone again. Yale's seen zone a lot this year. Syracuse may even switch to man-to-man at some point, but we'll see. Right now, the zone was looking good.
Syracuse got a lot out of its 2 All-Americans on attack in Emma Muchnick and Emma Ward on Friday. We'll see what they do today. Those 2 both struggled against Yale's zone defense in the regular season. It is the number 4 ranked scoring defense in the country for Erica Bamford's Bulldogs. Molly Guzik with the ball, gives it up. Gracie Britton. 2 minutes into this second round game. Guzik gives it up. Ashley Volpe had 4 goals against Yale in the regular season. Now it's Ward. Finds Volpe. Low shot and a whistle prior to it. And now they're going to call a goal, and I think we've got an issue here. The official definitely blew the whistle, and everybody stopped. And then Syracuse started playing again, and they scored because Yale was not playing.
And the whistle, I feel like, is shooting space. Yeah, no goal. Referees just have to get together and talk. They're going to call shooting space here because of the late slide. She had a wide open lane there for goal.
So they wave off the goal, but Syracuse will still have it. Obviously, high-pressure moments in a game like this, and maybe the official's a little nervous as well.
Yeah.
It was the same official who blew his whistle that said good goal, but the other two came in and fixed the issue. They'll put the shot clock back at 60 for Syracuse. The Orange leading goal scorer, Muchnick, this year with 34 of them, but Emma Ward is the MVP of the team, the grad student. 75 points this season, one of 7 in Syracuse history with more than 300 points, and one of 3 in Syracuse history with at least 150 goals and assists. She did not take a single shot in the game against Yale in the regular season. Expect that to be much different today. She's got the ball here.
And you already see what she does when that double comes over. As soon as it collapses on her, she's so quick at finding the open player.
Alexa Vogelman for Britain. Goal line extended, it's Volpe. Vogelman swinging along. Long possession here for the Orange. No official shots yet. And then a call here against Yale. And it will be a free position for Syracuse. It'll be Ashley Volpe, the sophomore from Painted Post, New York. Fires, and that hit the crossbar. A race to the rebound. This counts as a shot, and Yale is closest to it. It was Bella Saviano. So the Bulldogs and Syracuse trade stops to begin the game. Now, one thing that Yale did exceptionally well against UAlbany on Friday that kind of allowed them to come back in the game was not turn the ball over. They tied a season low with only 6 of them. Yale was trailing going into the fourth quarter, but took the lead and never looked back late in the fourth against the Great Danes, the America East champion. Fallon Vaughn at X, looks to get topside with it. One of 4 40-point scorers on the Yale roster, all seniors. Caroline Burt up top, Carasquillo. Across, and a whistle here against Syracuse as Kelly Holmes drew the shooting space call, and a free position coming for the first year out of Darien. She had 2 assists on Friday. Holmes, and I think she might have gone too quickly, but they're going to say Syracuse went too quickly.
Yeah, Syracuse jumped way too fast there.
So let's try this again. Kelly Holmes cuts to the middle and now has to back it out. Collignon knifes her way in and scores! No, it hit the side of the net. They're going to say no goal and give the ball to Syracuse. It's no goal. I'm not sure if it went in and they disallowed it or it hit the side of the net. Yale was celebrating, Christine, but that's our second kind of close call to start this game.
Yeah, we've seen this already a few times with Yale, right? They've scored, and the goals have been disallowed. So I think a lot of nerves, a lot of shakiness for everybody right now on the field. This is how close this game is going to be. These calls going either way could make the difference.
Now, as much as, this particular group for Yale is experienced in the NCAA tournament, going to the quarterfinals last year for the program, they have not been here all that often. This is only the 5th trip to the NCAA tournament for Yale. It's the first time they've ever gone back-to-back years, and they're trying to get to their 3rd quarterfinal ever. Pass in front from Ward. Trinkus couldn't handle it, and Neve Pfaff comes to pick up the ground ball, and Emmy Pascal will look to clear for Yale. Syracuse, Christine, back-to-back Final Fours, 3 out of 4, one of the most accomplished programs in the sport, probably the most accomplished that has never won a national championship. They're younger. They didn't have as good a regular season this year, but they played on Friday like you expect a team with Syracuse on its uniform to play.
That was a complete game by Syracuse. They looked awesome from the first years, the youngins, and to the few seniors that they have.
Collignon comes into the day one shy of tying the Yale career goals scored record, held by Tracy Ball. She was fouled there. Clock runs under 9 minutes here in the first quarter. Already some great games around the country today, and we expect this to be a great one as well. One team is already through to the quarterfinal. Florida beat Stanford in double overtime in a rainstorm in Gainesville. Tough angle here. Collignon shoots, save Guyette.
Guyette, just a wall right now to start this game.
They're going to call a trip there against Syracuse as Collignon fell down, and they're going to reset the shot clock because of Guyette's save. But we are more than 7 minutes into the game without a goal. Here's Fallon Vaughn. Gives it up for Burt. Now Taylor Lane, the most outstanding player in the Ivy League tournament, which Yale won. Holmes swings it up top. Carasquillo coming off that 6-point game Friday.
This is nice ball movement right now by Yale. Getting that Syracuse zone moving and sliding.
Foul on Casey Benoit.
And if you notice, Syracuse will jump into a double, too, on the ball every once in a while.
Caroline Burt for Vaughn, the All-American midfielder. Lane, tough pass off of Carasquillo, and the ground ball is picked up by Muchnick, the third-team All-American for the Orange. So both teams a little disjointed offensively to start the game. This is Caroline Trinkus, the star freshman, knocked away by Vaughn, but Volpe comes up with the loose one. Halfway through the first quarter. Emma Ward.
Yale sticking in their regular zone defense. They are going to throw a few wrinkles, mix it up a little bit. I mean, you have to know where Ward is at all times, whether she's at X or she's going to be high. Sometimes on the power play is usually when she goes high and outside the 8.
Molly Guzik gives it up for Trinkus. Under 7 to play in the first. Ward, defended by a first-year in Bellissimo, splits a double team, and her pass was knocked down, and Becca Gill picks up the loose ball.
It's a nice double there by the Bulldogs. Makes me a little nervous just because out of anyone in the country, I feel Emma Ward sees that double come, and she's able to get out of it, find the open player so quick, but right there it works for the Bulldogs.
Yale comes into this game winners of 8 in a row. The first win out of those 8 was here against Syracuse in the regular season on April 2nd. The Orange, with that loss and the rest of their regular season, went 1-4 down the stretch. But again, pretty easy win against Brown Friday to get here to the second round and get a rematch with Yale. Kelly Holmes moves in with it, nowhere to go. Collignon behind goal for Burt. Back for Jenna Collignon.
Fallon's wide open in the middle.
Shooting space call here against Syracuse. And a free position coming for Taylor Lane. Looking to break the ice on this second round game. 35 goals and 100 in the career for Taylor Lane. She fires and scores! Taylor Lane starts the scoring in this second round game in the NCAA tournament. 1-0 Yale. 5:53 left in the first.
There's losing, but then there's being the loser. Game time comes with enough pressure. Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the NCAA.
In this game, making the right move is hard. It's a challenge that feels like a mountain. As unpredictable as life itself. Unless you use Open Door to sell your home, then it's like pretty easy.
Ashton! If you're making big moves, start by moving out of my bathroom.
Almost there, Mom.
Open bath?
Open Door, here for life's big moves.
Today, I choose us how to screen us for colon cancer. I will not drink all that liquid. Give me Cologuard or give
Excuse me? We can do that for you.
What, no battle?
Nope. just a prescription.
Victory!
Cologuard is an effective and non-invasive colon cancer screening test. False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy. Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
So much of the story with Syracuse is the youngins around the wily vet, Emma Ward, and she was the star of the show on Friday.
Such a quarterback of this Syracuse offense. I mean, a unique player. She posts up there and is just able to finish like no other. And on the other side, Sky Carasquillo, I mean, just a competitor. She has been setting up goals. She's smart, aggressive. You're going to see her take a lot of hits as well, and she's able to follow through and still score.
One of the 4 50-point scorers for Yale this season. And one of those is Taylor Lane, who just picked up her 36th goal of the year on a free position shot to give Yale the early lead in this one. Justin Galanti, Christine Huber, glad you're with us from Reese Stadium in New Haven. Second year in a row that Yale is hosting the NCAA tournament. For Syracuse, it's quite uncommon for this program to be playing away from the JMA Wireless Dome anytime before the Final Four. But when we chatted with Kayla Trainer, she said, you know, we've already been in New Haven this year, and national championships are not won at home, no matter who you are. So if we have to play on the road earlier than normal this year, so be it.
She brought up a great point with that. No matter what, they're going to have to win on the road. You might as well get used to it. They're already here in New Haven just a month ago, so that at least they know the facility, know the place.
Yale's won the first 2 draw controls of the game, and again, at least based on the regular season meeting, that is a big concern for Syracuse today. They lost 19 of the 26 back in April.
And a big stat as well, because they played so well on Friday, because they won so many of those draws. They get that confidence when they have the ball, and that comes from winning the draws.
The Orange made some personnel changes on Friday as compared to really the entire season, and they stuck with the same starting lineup today. Izzy Leha, a defender, made her first start of the year on Friday, and she starts again today, 27 in the blue.
Coach Drainer said they had 2 weeks off. Those players deserved it through practice, and they stepped up on Friday.
Under 5 to play first quarter. Taylor Lane to the middle. Vaughn behind the back! You have got to be kidding!
This is the Yale offense. Unselfish, moving this ball around, getting it to Fallon Vaughn with the BTB behind the back. And look at how much pace and power she gets on that shot. If that's how you're going to beat Guyette, that's how you're going to have to beat her.
Fallon Vaughn with her career high 45th goal of the season. Lane gets the assist. So already a multi-point game for Lane. She has 16 multi-point games out of Yale's now 19 this year. And Vaughn, who was a little quiet by her standard on Friday, gets on the board quickly here.
And this is what they need from Fallon Vaughn. One of the best two-way middies in America. And showing what she does defensively. We've seen her. She'll get the ground ball. She'll get the turnovers. And now all of a sudden, she's an offensive scoring threat with behind the back. This is exactly what the Bulldogs want.
Lane with another draw control. Three for 3 to start the game for Yale. When you kind of evaluate the season for Erica Bamford's Bulldogs, they were so highly touted coming into the year with good reason. They had the best season in program history last year, went to the national quarterfinals, and brought back virtually the entire roster. And they started 7-0 and were ranked 4th in the country. But a 3-game losing streak followed, and they came into the Syracuse game in early April at 7-3. And their captain, Sophie Straka, said, the opponent that beat us in the NCAA tournament last year, that was the motivation we needed as a roster to come out of that losing streak. They won that game. They haven't lost since, and they're up 2-0 with 4 to go here in the first quarter.
And they're still looking back to that game as a missed catch there by Fallon Vaughn.
Benoit and Vaughn going after it, and a foul there on Vaughn. That's the right call.
the Yale Bulldogs, they're still looking back at what happened last year. They're so hurt by it, and I feel they didn't put their best foot forward, their best performance there. Obviously, Fallon Vaughn out very early, disqualified with 2 yellow cards early in the game, which made an impact. So they're still, even though they beat Syracuse earlier this year on this same field, they are still riled up. They are looking to play.
Yeah, 19-9 was the final in that game, and it was, to be frank, really never in doubt. It was the 3-6 matchup. Syracuse won it handily. Vaughn couldn't play most of the game, as you said, DQ'd with the 2 yellow cards, and Syracuse went back to the Final Four. They're looking to get on the board here for the first time today. Volpe up top, Gracie Britton. Syracuse has only taken 1 shot so far and hit the crossbar. Dangerous pass. Trinkus lost it. Picked up by Molly McGuckin. But there was a call against Yale first, 3 seconds. And a free position coming for Syracuse.
And this is going to be on Molly McGuckin. She had the cutter through. They're going to talk about it a bit, though. She had the cutter through, and then when Syracuse cleared everybody out, she wasn't able to get out in time out of the 8-meter to stop the ball carrier.
So the junior from New York, Gracie Britton, with the free position. Britton, saved by Neve Pfaff. First save of the game for the first-year goalie who, outside of Yale overall as a team, just playing better at the end of the season. The switch to her in goal has made a big difference. Sam DeVito nearly caused a turnover there, the grad transfer from Princeton, but Yale's able to keep it. Remember, it was Yale that did not score in the first quarter on Friday against UAlbany, and they're shutting out Syracuse so far today. Fallon Vaughn cutting, Carasquillo to the net, knocked away. Good defense by the Orange. Collignon up top. Kelly Holmes had her first career multi-point game on Friday with those 2 assists. For Yale so far, 6 shots and 5 on goal. Lane on the skip, Carasquillo, it's 3-0!
You can already see what the Yale game plan is offensively. They want to move that ball and move it fast. Find the person open on the opposite side of the arc, and that's exactly what they're doing. And this time it's Sky Carasquillo, and she is just able to launch it.
So for Sky Carasquillo, that is her 50th goal of the season, her first career 50-goal season. One of 3 Bulldogs in the top 10 in the Ivy League in goals per game this year. And Taylor Lane already has 3 points today. It's 3-0. And, this, frankly, could not be a worse start for Syracuse. They have not been able to get the ball because they've lost every draw control, and they're not getting stops.
And what's scary is typically Yale somehow always winds up playing from behind, right? It takes them a quarter usually to get going, figure it out, figure out the flow, figure out the opponents. Right now, they're up 3-0. So this momentum train is just going with them.
Collignon trying to pick it up against Rode. A loose one and a push against Yale, so it'll be Syracuse ball. Syracuse needs one of their All-Americans, Muchnick or Ward, to kind of just go make a play here and settle them into this game. It's only 3-0. It's just more the rhythm of the game has not been the way the Orange want it. Here is Muchnick in her second year at Syracuse, started her career at Maryland, and now a shooting space call against Volpe. It was Pascal who was called for it. Volpe will have the free position. Sophomore who's had 3 ACL surgeries in her career, finally back healthy. Gives up the ball. This is Joelle Caramelli, gave it back to Volpe. Opening for Volpe to shoot, and she scores. Boy, does Ashley Volpe love playing on this field. That is her 7th goal at Reese Stadium this year, and she gets Syracuse on the board.
And this is Syracuse doing a good job with the ball movement, the reversal here, and Volpe just able to sidewind it, but yet still hit it in the top shelf.
Volpe was a top 25 recruit in the class of 2023, but as we said, all those injuries to her knee cost her a couple high school seasons and her freshman year in Central New York, but back healthy, and she scores her 11th goal of the season. And again, 7 of those 11 have come here. 4 against Yale in the regular season, 2 Friday, and 1 today.
She likes New Haven as much as Yale does.
Yeah, this is a tough place to win. Yale only 1 loss at home this year, undefeated at home last year. They've only lost 4 times here since the start of the 2022 season. 32-4 in their last 36 games. Muchnick gets the assist on the Syracuse goal, her 6th of the season. And it's now a 40-point year for Muchnick. And they're going to call another push on Yale. So Syracuse gets the ball back, and for all we talked about, Christine, Syracuse can get this to a 1-goal game here at the end of the first quarter.
And they're going to get that confidence. The more they get the ball, the more Emma Ward can touch it, the better they are going to be.
Bree Peters scored a goal on Friday, number 2 for Syracuse. She had played in 1 game all year prior to Friday. Freshman out of Baldwinsville, New York. Melina Cotter, another one of the star freshmen, threw it behind Muchnick. Still time here for the Orange, who love to execute in late clock situations.
And keep your eye on Ward sneaking.
Volpe, she scores again! Ashley Volpe has the Orange back within 1.
Volpe coming to play today. I mean, she is excited, ecstatic, and gets another one. And it's good just movement there by the Orange, sending multiple cutters through.
So it's a repeat of the first goal. Volpe from Muchnick, and it's 3-2. So we had 13 minutes belong to Yale, 1 minute basically belonged to Syracuse, and it's just a 1-goal game.
Yeah, and it's really coming off of this draw. 2 fouls right now on the Bulldogs, which has caused Syracuse to win those draws.
It's 3-2 right now. Rode and Collignon have taken all 5 and now all 6. Lane tries to step in. Rode came away with it. She had 9 draw controls Friday against Brown. Dangerous pass. Collignon knocked it down, and here she comes. Not much time left, and the first quarter is over. Interesting first 15 minutes here in New Haven. First 3 goals to Yale, the last 2 to Syracuse, and it's a 1-goal game after 1.
Today I choose us how to screen for colon cancer. Give me Cologuard or
Excuse me? You just need a prescription.
victory!
Cologuard is for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
In this game, making the right move is hard. It's a challenge that feels like a mountain. As unpredictable as life itself. Unless you use Open Door to sell your home, then it's like pretty easy.
Ashton! If you're making big moves, start by moving out of my bathroom.
Almost there, Mom. Open Door, here for life's big moves.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
Well, just a year ago, these two schools met in the NCAA tournament, and in the quarterfinal, things changed very quickly. Yale's perhaps best player, Fallon Vaughn, picked up 2 yellow cards early in that game, was automatically disqualified, Christine, and Syracuse dominated the rest of the way. 19-9 was the final, and the Orange earned their second straight trip to the Final Four. This year, it's Yale up 3-2 after the first quarter in the second round. And there's a lot of differences in this Syracuse team. There are barely any players back from that team last year, but Emma Ward is back, and she had 7 points in that win.
Yeah, it's going to be Emma Ward and Emma Mucknick. They are the upperclassmen right here trying to lead this young Syracuse team. But even though they're young, they're very talented, they're very athletic, as we've already seen after the first quarter.
3 games in the books already in the second round. We can now officially say the winner of this game will be headed to Boston College to play the defending national champions in the national quarterfinal. The Eagles got a real scare from Stony Brook. 10-7 was the final. The other game that's gone final, there have actually only been 2 that have gone in the books. Florida, that double overtime win over Stanford, and Penn and Maryland are in double overtime. So 2 of the 3 games so far today have gone to overtime as Road controls the first draw of the second quarter. But now a late whistle for a hold against Syracuse, and Yale will get the ball here, Christine.
It was a great self-draw by Road, just keeping it close to her body and putting it in her pocket. But unfortunately, this is now, 3 fouls coming off the draws, which have really made a difference.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't that great because she did it illegally. But it looked good.
She gets away with it, and it's excellent.
Yeah, exactly. It's only illegal if you get caught. So Yale had the first 3 goals in the game, and Syracuse had the last 2. Late in the first quarter, Volpe with both for the Orange. Yale got 3 goals from 3 players. Carasquillo coming downhill, still with it, shoots, and that did not get to goal. Backed up by Fallon Vaughn.
And I think that's what Erica Bamford would call a good shot. She's in there, she takes the shot, it goes high, but Yale able to back it up.
You would have to say there's probably nobody in a white jersey more motivated for this game than Fallon Vaughn.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's upset at what happened last year in the quarterfinals. She had a great game here against Syracuse earlier in the year. I mean, I just think all 16 seniors for Yale, I mean, they want this game.
Looking to go to the national quarterfinal for the 2nd year in a row, 3rd time in program history. This is actually the 3rd meeting in the tournament between Yale and Syracuse. They've only met 6 times ever, and half of them have been in the NCAA tournament. They also met in 2003 when Yale won. Pass to the middle, gets all the way through. Vaughn's just going to let it go because the shot clock is running out, and Syracuse gets the stop.
Fallon Vaughn almost had her head taken off behind the goal there from that last shot. And you can see, right, Yale's getting the chances in the middle, but wow, that Syracuse zone, they are just collapsing in front of the crease.
You got to give Syracuse credit. The way this game started, there was no panic from this young roster, and now they have a chance to tie. Here's Emma Ward playing above the goal line now in the attack unit. Not something she did much at all against Yale in the regular season, and she didn't do in the first quarter today. This is Alexa Vogelman, the sophomore from Pennsylvania, up top for Peters. How about this moment for Peters? Played in 1 game all year, and now she's getting real time in the biggest time in the season. Vogelman draws the shooting space call on Bella Saviano. Free position for Alexa Vogelman, the number 5 recruit in the 2023 class. She also missed all of her freshman year with an ACL injury. This year, 20 goals and 5 assists. Vogelman in on Pfaff. She scores! Tie game!
And just like that, the ball game is tied. Yale with all the momentum in the beginning. Syracuse coming back with that momentum now. Both teams just so excited, so psyched to be here. They are going to put everything on the line today.
Three in a row for Yale, followed by 3 in a row for the Orange. And we're knotted up 2:55 into the second. We've detailed, the NCAA tournament history for Yale. They have 4 wins all time in the NCAA tournament, and 3 of them have come either last year or this year. Syracuse playing in its 13th consecutive NCAA tournament, 22nd overall. They're looking for their 30th all-time win in the NCAA tournament here today, and a trip back to the national quarterfinal where it would be a date with a team that's beaten them in the Final Four 2 years in a row, Boston College. Loose ball. Vaughn tried to kick it ahead to herself. And still in play, and it is whose ball? Syracuse ball.
Nice tussle there. This is showing how much these players, the circle players, need this. They want that draw. It's just been the momentum changer, right? Every single time Yale gets it, they have scored. Every time Syracuse gets it, they've scored.
Pass behind Ward, and it's a turnover. So that's kind of an unforced error from the Orange attack. Those are the things you don't want to have in a game of this magnitude. How can Yale get back in sync here offensively?
I think they need to keep moving the ball quickly, right? If Syracuse is going to stay in this zone like they are now, move that ball, get those players moving, and get them to have the defense to have late slides. That's where it's going to either open or get a shooting space call.
Kelly Holmes guarded by Benoit, the third-team All-ACC defender. Caroline Burt at X. Up top, Carasquillo searching. 10.5 to play in the first half. Taylor Lane with 3 points already.
Yale plays with such a free-flowing offense. Coach Bamford gives them the green light to read what the defense gives them.
Lignan sees the double. Vaughn in the middle. Carasquillo didn't have her stick in a position to shoot. And Vaughn got hit up high by Molly Guzik. 19 seconds to shoot for Yale.
And you see Syracuse zone just really collapsing in the middle in front of the crease.
Here is Sky Carasquillo. Holmes up top. Vaughn, 10 seconds here. Pass to the middle. Lane got hit in the back. And maybe a bailout foul for Yale with only 7 on the shot clock. And Lane's going to have this free position. The most outstanding player in the Ivy League tournament. Lane. Saved by Guyette. So Danny Guyette, the first-year starter in goal, who's an all-ACC keeper for the Orange, has showed up to play today. This ball gets away, though, as the Orange having a little trouble clearing, but a big ground ball there for Bree Peters. I would say, for the most part, Christine, both teams look a little nervous.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that ball has just been bouncing around. It's been back and forth.
And the interesting kind of dichotomy between these two teams is that for Syracuse, it's the first time here for so many of their players. And for Yale, for so many of their players, they're hoping it's not their last game.
Both teams have so much on the line. Whoever loses is going home. Single elimination.
Melina Cotter, now Muchnick. Pulls this out, pass to the middle. Peters gives it up. Volpe one more time. It's the Ashley Volpe show. She's got a hat trick. 8:34 to go in the second quarter, and Syracuse has its first lead.
There's losing, and then there's being the loser. Game time comes with enough pressure. Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the NCAA.
The Home Depot has fast, free delivery, so you can refresh your outdoor space in no time. We bring what you need, and you bring it to life. Order today and get fast, free delivery from the Home Depot.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
So 8:34 to go here in the first half. And Christine, it's not quite as stark as Syracuse's opponent on Friday in Brown, who had literally never played in the NCAA tournament before. But you can see, I mean, most of the history is on one side, at least if you look at the programs.
Yeah, overall, definitely. Yale, just an up-and-coming program. This year is their first back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances, and obviously hosting 2 years in a row, meaning they're the top seeds for the past 2 years, which is just amazing.
So right now it's a 4-3 Syracuse lead, and, well, the fact is, it looks like a close game, but there hasn't been a point where it's been back and forth yet, right? Yale got off to a roaring start, up 3-0 pretty quickly, but Syracuse has responded and now dominated the game for quite a while with a 4-0 run, and 3 of the goals have come from Ashley Volpe. She had 8 goals the entire regular season. She has 5 so far this weekend.
And not only that, 4 the last time she was here playing on this same turf against Yale. So whatever it is, she finds those holes in the Yale defense. She's going for it.
Megan Rode has also made quite the adjustment on these draws, and they're going to get her for a push here. Or they're going to get Yale for a push, I should say. So after losing the first 3 draw controls, Syracuse has now won 5 of the last 6. Emma Ward tried to draw the shooting space call there, but didn't get it. I think the most encouraging thing maybe, Christine, for Syracuse right now is that, frankly, they're winning, and Emma Ward has not been involved in the game offensively at all.
And we saw it in the first matchup here. She was not involved much in that game, and it did not go well. Let's see if they get her involved, and we see her higher now at the top of the 8.
Muchnick to the middle for Ward. Pass came over the top for Trinkus. Syracuse has no goals yet from any of its top 3 goal scorers this year. Ward, Trinkus, and Muchnick. Good pass in front. Volpe again. What a find. And it's a 4th goal already for Ashley Volpe.
This is just a bunt down the third baseline. I mean, that's all she does. She doesn't put the ball in her pocket at all. Quick sticks it right down and right by Pfaff. And look at that smart heads-up play. She's tiptoeing the crease there.
Erica Bamford is going to challenge this call.
I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be on the follow-through. Does Volpe's left foot go and touch that crease? And this will be a close one here. I mean, it's tough, right? With her momentum and everything going forward.
Well, one thing that would certainly lead you to believe that Yale saw something is, both teams have the tablets on the sidelines, and Yale kind of waited a while to ask for the challenge there. So they looked at it a couple times before asking. So that leads you to believe maybe they saw something. And
it's tough to tell, right? I mean, we'll show the replays again. We have to wait until after the officials look at it, but we'll show the replays again. And Volpe's, her left foot is close. She's able to make contact with the ball, hit it down towards goal, but then she might have also touched the crease as she was following through, trying to stay out. So definitely an acrobatic play. She's able to pull it off. I mean, it's just such great body control.
Whether or not Yale wins this challenge, Christine, based on the way this game was going, I think they probably could have used a timeout anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to lose anything.
I mean, you lose a timeout.
But you already need a timeout anyway. Just get everybody back on the same page. All the coaches checking out the tablets.
So another final double overtime. Penn upsets Maryland. So one Ivy League school is through to the quarterfinal. And it's sure looking like another's going to get there as well. Princeton is destroying Johns Hopkins down in Baltimore, 13-6. So the Tigers trying to show the fact that they were disrespected by not getting to host the NCAA tournament. It looks like they're going to get to a quarterfinal as well. And Yale is hoping that they could make it 3 out of the final 8 teams in the country being from the Ivy League. The ACC has already sent Boston College through. It looks like North Carolina is going to get through. Virginia and Duke are playing each other. So one of those two has to get through. And then Yale, Syracuse, well, it's either the Ivy League or the ACC sending another.
And we've talked about all year just 2 of the best conferences. And to see them battle here to make it to the quarterfinals, I mean, we knew we were going to have a game.
So we're going to show you the replay here. The officials are done looking at it. And watch Volpe's feet. Is she in the crease?
And it's not going to be right here. I think it's going to be on that follow through. Unable to keep her left foot out with all her body momentum going forward.
I feel like it's going to be no goal.
I think it's going to be no goal. But, I mean, don't take it away from what Volpe just did there. I mean, just to have that ability to slap stick that ball down, not putting it in the pocket at all.
Erica Bamford and Kayla Traynor getting the explanation here. And they have said it is no goal.
So this is going to pump Yale up. Let's see if this momentum now changes, right? Yale came off to a hot start, up 3-0, absolutely dominating. All of a sudden, the script changes. Syracuse up 4-3 now. Now let's see which way it's going to go.
And another thing is that because it's no goal due to a crease violation, not like the ball maybe went in or didn't, Yale gets possession.
And they don't lose a timeout.
So let's see if that can flip momentum. It's still a 4-0 Syracuse run here. And we're just past the midway point of the second quarter. Justin Glancy, Christine Huber, our entire outstanding crew. Glad you're with us today. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. And we expected this to maybe be the best game of the day. There have already been 2 double overtime games. So not sure if we're going to be able to top that, but we're off to the start we expected. A close one so far.
And what a great back-and-forth game, a high-energy, exciting game as well.
Fallon Vaughn at X for Yale. A goal already. Collignon has been stymied so far, one of the best goal scorers in the country. Good cut. Carasquillo missed high. It was a good back check at the end by the All-American defender, Coco Vandiver. In front, shot, and a save by Guyette. Point blank on Ashley Newman.
Guyette just steals that one.
Pass was behind Muchnick there, and another battle for a ground ball. Syracuse a little loose with its clear, and we're going to get a card here, a green card against the Orange and Melina Cotter. So failed clear, not just that, but the Orange go a woman down for the first time today.
And Syracuse just unable to make that clear. What a dogfight we have in the middle of the field, right? In between the 30s. I mean, these two teams are just going at it.
So Yale, a player up for the first time. Shots are 12-6 Yale so far, 8-5 on goal, but Danny Guyette has already made 5 saves in this game. Burt gives it up, Kelly Holmes. Burt at X once again. They cycle for Carasquillo, and now Taylor Lane. Collignon needs 1 goal to tie the career record. And that is knocked down and taken away by Izzy Leha.
Not a good turnover there.
20 more seconds for Syracuse to kill if they want, or they can just go here. Fast break in front, Volpe! Number 4.
Have a game, Volpe, ready to play. And this is Syracuse coming off the turnover that Yale gives up. Fast break transition. This is how you run the play. And I mean, how about that? You know, we've talked about Syracuse, their middies. They like to run 3 into the box, and that's exactly what's happening.
You know, you can probably count on one hand the times this season that Yale had kind of a very sloppy turnover while a player up and give up a player down goal. That might not have happened the whole season. It's a team that is number 2 in the country in fewest turnovers per game, so bit of a surprising moment there. Vogelman gets the assist. Volpe with her 4th goal, and Syracuse has scored the last 5. It's a game of adjustments, and right now, whatever Syracuse did between the opening 13 minutes and the last 12 or so is the story of the game.
I think it's called getting Volpe the ball.
Collignon with the self-draw, 2nd in Yale history, not only in goals coming into today, but also draw controls. 1 ahead of her teammate, Sky Carasquillo, who's 3rd. Now, on that last possession prior to the card, Yale got, you know, as good of a look as you could ask for, and Guyette just stoned Newman. So we'll see if they can generate another good look here.
Guyette's just so talented in between the pipes.
Vaughn got hit from behind by Leha.
And when you have this type of goalie, this good of a goalie in net, you've got to put the fakes and feints on her in order to get it by her.
Vaughn will restart it. As you might guess, certainly a partisan Yale crowd, but also a great contingent that's come from Syracuse for this game.
High energy in the stadium today.
Nothing was high on Friday other than rain. Carasquillo, quick shot. Stopped by Guyette. She got her own rebound, though. Shot clock should reset, and it does. Right now, Yale's dealing with a really hot goalie. In front, Collignon missed. Vaughn up top. Kelly Holmes. Plenty of time here for Yale. 4 minutes to play in the first half. Megan Kitagawa is in the game for the first time. She did not play Friday. That's not a good pass, and it's taken away again.
Sloppy play by the Bulldogs.
It was Leha. Actually, that was Melina Cotter. Here they come. Trinkus backs it out. Emma Ward's got an opening. Got shut down, though, by Saviano and Katie Clare. You know, it's interesting because early in the game, as poorly as things were going for Syracuse, the story was sort of, well, it's only 3-0. And now, as poorly as things are going for Yale, if you're Erica Bamford, you're telling your team, we're only down by 2.
So true.
Syracuse has scored the last 5. Volpe up top with it. Trinkus for Ward. 3 to play in the first half. Vogelman knifes in. Too many white jerseys. Ward.
Nice
That's
snag.
picked off. Molly McGuckin.
What a snag by McGuckin there. The rover, she's the one who's going to pick up all those cutters going through, and that time she's just able to snatch that ball out of the air.
That is the 20th caused turnover of the season for Molly McGuckin. Both her parents were college athletes at Syracuse, so interesting game for her. It is quite rare in this sport that you get to this point in the game and the top goal scorer for both teams has not scored yet. But that's the case today. Lane leading Yale with 3 points. Carasquillo and Vaughn have the other 2 goals. Vaughn in front. Lane, she scores! How about 4 points in the first half for Taylor Lane?
Lane knew she had to put some power on this shot. The way Guyette has stopped everything all day, she had to put it low and hard, and that's exactly what she did.
That seemed like a shot where she was taking out some frustration.
Yeah.
The senior out of Norwalk, Connecticut, who has arguably scored the 2 biggest goals in the history of this program, comes up with her second of the first half today. She had the overtime winner in the Ivy Tournament Championship game last year, the winner with under a minute left in the Ivy Tournament semifinal this year, both against Penn. And she has been the story in the first half. Vaughn gets the assist, continues her streak of multiple points in every single game this year. Draw controls are dead even, 5-5. Yale on the season, 58.9%. Syracuse, 46.1%. And it'll be orange ball. You know, one game is not always indicative of the next. In fact, it rarely is, Christine. But I think everybody that watched the 2 games Friday thought Yale's going to have to play a lot better if they're going to win today. And if Syracuse plays the way it did Friday, they are going to win today.
100% true. That's exactly the story of what happened on Friday.
But if you think about what happened just a week ago, Yale did not play great in the semifinal of the conference tournament against Penn. They came back and won late by 1. And then on Sunday in the final, as Peters has this knocked away, but she was fouled, Yale beat the 1 seed and the host school Princeton, and they didn't just beat him. It was 17-6. So that was a case where they didn't play their best game Friday and then totally dominated on Sunday. And they're hoping for a similar script here today. Free position here for Bree Peters. Scored her first career goal on Friday. A rookie attacker and a rookie goalie here. Peters, saved by Pfaff. And Katie Clare dumps it in the crease for her.
Pfaff read that one the entire way. I think this is going to be the difference, right? You see the young players of Syracuse not ever being in this type of situation before, this type of environment.
Erica Bamford wants a timeout with the shot clock not a factor and under 40 seconds to go in the first half, as the Bulldogs are going to try and draw up a play to tie the game.
Yeah, let's see what they do here. They need to keep putting those cutters through. But honestly, with the way Syracuse is crowding right in front of that crease, you've got to cut in and get out. Make those defenders move out of there. They can only be in there for 3 seconds unless they're guarding someone, right? And we always talk about defensively on Yale side, Molly McGuckin, she just has that internal timer when she knows when she has to get out of that 8 meter. So Yale needs to make that rover, their defense, move out of the crease, and it happens by quick cuts through.
Erica Bamford is the 2nd winningest head coach in the history of this Yale program already. 83 victories in her 9th season, picked up her third win in the NCAA tournament on Friday, and she's got this place absolutely jumping and supporting her Bulldogs at home again for a second year in a row in this NCAA tournament.
Happy Mother's Day to Coach Bamford, all the moms out there. My mom, if she can figure out how to work ESPN streaming, maybe she's watching.
Is there a good chance of that or no?
Up in Maine, you don't really get things, like you do down here in the big city.
Kayla Trainer on the other side, fourth season as the head coach at her alma mater, the second most points as a player in Syracuse history, and then took over as the head coach when Gary Gate slid over from the women's team to the men's team up in Central New York. She's gone to the NCAA tournament every year. She's been the head coach. She's taken this program to the Final Four 2 years in a row. And, coming into the NCAA tournament, the expectation was not the same as the last couple years coming in for Syracuse. But as we've said a bunch of times, they've played great today, and they played great on Friday. They're hoping for another date with Boston College, where Kayla Trainer cut her teeth as an assistant for a long time. But that's the program that's knocked Syracuse out of the tournament in the Final Four 2 years in a row. Syracuse wants to play them again. Yale is hoping to get a shot at the defending champions on Thursday. Yale did play BC in the regular season last year and the year before. Did not see the Eagles this year, but we can start talking about those things in a couple hours. So let's see what Erica Bamford drew up. It was 3 in a row for Yale, 5 in a row for Syracuse. Now the Bulldogs with the most recent goal. Vaughn, forced below the goal line, splits a couple and was fouled. Clock running down to 15 seconds. Yale's got to go quickly here as Vaughn peeks at the clock. Fallon Vaughn up top, knocked down by Cotter. Kelly Holmes trying to pick it up. Bunch of bodies in there, and this is going to run out the first half clock. So Syracuse with a very strong defensive possession there, and the Orange carry a 1-goal lead into the break. Ashley Volpe's been the star. A tight contest here in the second round of the tournament.
The clock is ticking, Ethan. And now the fate of every soul on earth is your responsibility.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Mission Impossible.
A history of winning started with the 65 Gators losing steam, losing sweat. The solution? A drink that hydrates better than water and changed the game forever.
Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo. You can change your color here. And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
College sports fans, get ready for game day with the officially licensed merchandise from the NCAA official online shop. Shop NCAAsports.com. Get the whole family geared up with the best collection of apparel and accessories, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, headgear, championship gear, and more. Visit the NCAA shop for today's special offer and rep your favorite team now. Only at shopncaasports.com.
Consumer Reports ranks car brands on more than 50 road tests, reliability surveys, owner satisfaction surveys, and safety ratings from IIHS. And for 2025, Consumer Reports' most reliable automotive brand is Subaru. It's no surprise they also named Subaru the best overall automotive brand. Safe, reliable, trusted, loved. Subaru.
The competitiveness of the league is something that's unparalleled because you have both sides.
you have a fierce academic competition, but then on the football field, you're going up against some of the best guys I've ever seen in my life.
Probably all of the student athletes, we choose to go to Ivy Leagues because we want the combination of the high-achieving academics and the high-achieving athletics. And I think this league makes it really possible for us to be able to achieve all of that together. We don't have to sacrifice one for the other.
And we honestly have that. We have people who are competing in the World Cup. I'm competing against the best women's soccer players every day when I'm at practice. Almost everyone's going to continue on playing soccer.
We don't have only people succeeding within the team and doing well within our games, but also being leaders in the USA squad, going to the Olympics and doing all these things.
Pat Glory, Yanni Diagonales, we're our rivals, but at the end, it's like you see Pat Glory win, it's like you're happy for him, to me, because he represents the league as a whole, and I think it's really great when we show success and the country notices it.
Absolute commitment to gender equity, providing opportunities for our female students to compete at the highest level.
3 championships in a row.
We couldn't have done what we did as a team or individually without each other.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
The combo meal changed the game at BK.
With so many options, I play my way.
Fries are my say, no compromise.
Winning big time, cause it's free to swap fries.
BK, have it your way.
The Home Depot has fast, free delivery, so you can refresh your outdoor space in no time. We bring what you need, and you bring it to life. Order today and get fast, free delivery from the Home Depot.
I request a colon cancer screening kit from Cologuard.com, and if I'm eligible, it gets delivered to my drawbridge. Aces.
Cologuard is for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Request a Cologuard kit online.
In this game, making the right move is hard. It's a challenge that feels like a mountain. As unpredictable as life itself. Unless you use Open Door to sell your home, then it's pretty easy.
Ashton! If you're making big moves, start by moving out of my bathroom.
Almost there, Mom. Open Bath? Open Door, here for life's big moves.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
Belonging is not just being accepted in a space, but being wanted there. You feel needed. You feel like your contribution is irreplaceable.
When I think of where I belong or how I feel included, it's feeling comfortable in the space that I'm in, feeling like I can be myself, and it's knowing that there's an opportunity for me to make changes or speak out.
Inclusion and belonging stems from not only being invited to the party, but being asked to dance.
I think that a big thing that a lot of us deal with is imposter syndrome and feeling like we don't belong in a lot of the spaces that we're in. And
So I think a big part of my own becoming a better person was realizing I do belong in these spaces. And then once I got to that point, I think that passing that along is one of the most important things that I can do.
One of the biggest things that you get from sport is friendship, it's community, it's self-confidence. So when it comes to inclusion, I want to make sure that even if you're not having a great day on the court, you didn't have a great match, or frankly you're not playing right now, do you still feel part of the team? Do you still feel part of the athletic community?
It's easy to feel a little bit left out in high school, easy to feel like the odd one out, and I guess Brown made me feel like I was surrounded by people who got me in a way.
I think to start everything, it is conversation that has to happen, and then it'll turn into action. Once you bring it in more people's minds that it is an issue or it is something that wants to be celebrated, it gets a lot easier to kind of continue.
There's a lot of people coming after me, and I want them to have a better experience than even I had, and keep passing that down through the generations to come.
In this game, making the right move is hard. Unless you use Open Door to sell your home, then it's pretty easy.
Ashton! I need the bathroom.
Almost there, Mom. Open Door, here for life's big moves.
AE drink spray? AE drink spray.
You want to hoop like Anthony Edwards? Practice. You want a refreshing drink? Obey your thirst. And I tried to tell him, man.
Oh, I know. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
First half highlights from here in New Haven. Certainly a half of runs, Christine. It was 3 in a row for Yale, followed by 5 in a row for Syracuse. And then Yale got the last goal of that first half. But, easy question, hard to answer. What do you think?
It's a Volpe show today for Syracuse. She has come out, she has stepped up, and when all the focus is on Ward and Mucknick, she has been the one to step up. On the flip side, Taylor Lane has done a good job. We haven't seen Jenna Kalignan score. Fallon Vaughn with only 1 goal. It is back and forth, but it's really been the runs that have been back and forth.
Yeah, and you make a really good point because, if you had told anybody we're going to be 30 minutes into this game and Emma Ward would have no points and Jenna Kalignan would have no points, you would say no way. But the fact that it's true of both of them sort of cancels the fact out that neither of them have scored.
Yeah, 100%. And we see the stats here right now. The clears, Yale, right? Going into today's game, 6th in the NCAA in clears. They're at 100% again. The big one right there for me, 6 turnovers by Yale. They only had 6 turnovers the entire day on Friday. So something to just keep an eye on there.
Draw controls in the first half, 6-5 Syracuse. And we are just about ready for half number 2. A spot in the national quarterfinal and a trip to Boston College is on the line. And Rhodes got it. Megan Rhode lost those first couple draws pretty cleanly, but she's figured something out.
And this is the type of thing with this Yale coaching staff. Molly Paella, she's the one who works with the draw team for Yale. They can easily switch it up and put in Carasquillo or a Fallon Vaughn.
Yeah, I cannot honestly remember the last time Yale's gone this deep into a game with the same draw taker every single time. Usually they do rotate.
Yeah, they switch it up a little bit, and especially if Syracuse is going to keep Rhode on the draw the entire game. why not show her different looks?
Volpe had 4 of the 5 goals for Syracuse in the first half. The other one from Alexa Vogelman. Muchnick, the All-American, is their leading goal scorer this year. She had 2 assists in the first half. Volpe to a cutting Muchnick, and a great save by Niamh Pfaff.
Niamh Pfaff sees that one coming as they're just running down the alley, and she's able to scoop that one up.
You know, the stat that is kept obviously is saves, but the one you have to keep yourself is how many goals are stolen by goalies. That was a stolen goal. Guyette has stolen a couple today. She has 6 saves overall, and Pfaff has 3. Obviously a low-scoring game here. Yale, the number 4 scoring defense in the country. They give up less than 8.5 goals per game, so they're used to these low-scoring games. Syracuse played a variety of different types of games this year, but they put 15 on Brown on Friday. Carasquillo up top for Calignan. On the goal line, it's Newman now at X for Vaughn. Vaughn coming around the crease with it, finds Carasquillo. She shoots, save Guyette. Saw it the whole way.
And there's another stolen goal, like you just said. I'm very impressed with Syracuse's zone today, right? For a young team to be able to switch up so much during the year, we've seen them man-to-man. We've seen them zone. We've seen them face guard 1 player. We've seen them face guard 2 players. Big turnover right here.
Taylor Lane knocked it away, and here she comes. 4 points already for Lane. And she's one of those players, Christine, that she started every game since she stepped on campus here. This is start number 73 out of 73 possible for Lane. She's been a 4-time All-Ivy League selection, but the last month and a half has been the best stretch of lacrosse we've ever seen from her.
It really has. And Lane and Vaughn, one of those Iron Women, have started every single game their 4 years here.
Yeah, Carasquillo as well. Missed 1 game, so she didn't play, but she has started every game she's ever played in.
And don't forget, Jenna Calignan had mono her first season, and that kept her out of a few games.
Yeah, if that had not happened, she would have long ago broke the goal-scoring record. And that pass is taken away. Vogelman intercepted the Vaughn pass, and Syracuse has numbers here. Vogelman still with it, finds Trinkus, finds Ward, who scores! But first a whistle, no goal. There was a foul against Yale. And it will be a free position for Syracuse.
And these are such dangerous turnovers that Yale is giving Syracuse. And credit the Syracuse zone for that, right? They're moving. Their slides are so fast today.
Free position here for the Orange. Trinkus to the net. She scores. First of the day for the star freshman. 31st of the season. And Syracuse is up by 2.
Trinkus is going to put this one away without any trouble right there. But again, we want to credit that Syracuse zonal defense, getting their sticks in the passing lane, easily able to grab it and get a numbers up transition going the other way. If shooting space was not called, Emma Ward put it away.
Yeah, to tell you how important that turnover was, the 4 Syracuse players that came off the field after that possession ran past their head coach, Kayla Traynor. She high-fived 3. She hugged Vogelman, who was the one who caused the turnover and set up the play.
Yeah. And again, to have rookie players, to have young players learn all these different types of defense is just hats off to Syracuse and what they've done this year.
Vogelman was as highly touted as it gets coming out of high school in Pennsylvania. Tore ACL, missed all of last year, now as a sophomore playing for the first time. And she was pretty quiet, didn't call her name much Friday. She's been really important today, and Megan Rode has been really important as well. Syracuse has scored 6 of the last 7 goals in this game.
And you're looking at it, Yale's only down by 2.
Syracuse as a team, and this is to be taken with a grain of salt because Syracuse played the hardest schedule in the country this year, but they give up almost 12 goals a game, which is 63rd nationally. And they have held Yale to 4 so far after really stymieing the Brown offense on Friday. That was top 20 nationally. Yale coming into today 14 goals a game, just a little shy of that. 4th in the Ivy League, 29th in the country. Tough pass in front. Trinkus' shot was blocked, and then she's going to get a card for a dangerous follow-through on the shot. That's a yellow card, and this is an opportunity for Yale, Christine.
Something to keep an eye on there, too, with Trinkus, one of the Syracuse's main players, getting that first yellow. 2 yellows, and you're disqualified.
Remember Yale's last home game of the regular season? They were down most of the game to Cornell, and there was a late yellow card on a play like that, a dangerous follow-through that gave Yale a player-up advantage. They scored and kind of changed the game from there. You wonder if they can do something to change momentum here. It's the second time they've been a player up today. Didn't get a shot the first possession. They turned the ball over. They've turned it over 7 times today. Only turned it over 6 times the whole game on Friday. Different opponent, obviously. Collignant for Taylor Lane. Now it's Vaughn. Lane at X. She's been Yale's star today. Carasquillo pulls it out. Now Lane again. Across. Burt. Holmes to the middle. Lane. Save Gayettes.
I think Yale could have found a better shot there. Plenty of time left on the shot clock. Plenty of time left on the yellow card. I think they could have done better.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, in general, that's a good look, but when you're a player up, probably harder than you'd like.
And not taking anything away from Guyette by any means.
Officials just wanted to make sure Yale had the right number of players inside the restraining line, I think. Syracuse can, if they'd like, run out the remaining time on the card and still have about 16 seconds to work with offensively. There have already been some upsets today. Nothing major, but a couple teams with numbers next to their names have already lost. The 6 seed Maryland is out. The 8 seed Johns Hopkins is about to be out. And Virginia, the 5 seed, is about to lose as well. Top 2 seeds and the 4 seed have advanced. Emma Muchnick into traffic, gave it up for Ward. 5 seconds until even strength. Melina Cotter gives it up. Muchnick on the outside, back to even strength. Trinkus comes back on. 10 seconds here. Ward looking, forced back, lobs it, got through, Peters scores! How is that pass possible? The all-time assist leader in Syracuse history with a dandy, and Peters finishes it in style.
The clock is ticking, Ethan. And now the fate of every soul on earth is your responsibility.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Mission impossible.
A history of winning started with the 65 Gators losing steam, losing sweat.
We've identified the problem. What is the solution?
A drink scientifically designed to hydrate better than water, so they could sweat more, win more, and change the game forever.
Boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
A large touchscreen keeps everyone happy. The Subaru Crosstrek. Dog tested, dog approved.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue on ESPN.
Well, obviously just an elite level of talent on the field today between Syracuse and Yale. The Orange lead at 7-4 with 8:19 to go in the third quarter. Christine, between the two teams, there are 8 All-Americans, led by Yale's Collignon and Vaughn, who are each second-teamers. But Emma Ward, only an honorable mention All-American this year, but one of the greatest players in the history of the program, and she has helped lead this team, Syracuse, on a 7-1 run over the last 22-37. Yale has 1 goal since the 1:45 mark of the first quarter.
Emma Ward just showing how great she is, how she sees the field. I mean, she just drops that pass, puts it on a dime, makes everything look so easy. I don't even know how she was able to seal that in there.
Yale's going to make its first change of the game.
No surprise
on
here.
The draws. Sky Carasquillo, who has 57 draw controls and this year and 261 in her career, which is the 3rd most in program history, will try her luck against Megan Rode.
And this is going to give a different look now. Syracuse has to adjust. Sky, a completely different draw taker than Collignon.
Draw controls are 8-5 Syracuse. It was 19-7 Yale in the regular season game between these two. Vogelman had a great shot at it, couldn't pick it up, and now Fallon Vaughn does have it for Yale.
And that's what Sky Carasquillo does, right?
What are they going to call here? A card, a green card? I was thinking for a second, Christine, as this is on Leha, I was thinking for a second they might get Vaughn sort of for the way she was wildly swinging her arms there, but they call it on Leha.
Yeah, good call there. Fallon Vaughn just trying to keep control of the ball. But that's what Sky Carasquillo does at the draw circle. She's going to be able to tell her circle players where she's putting the ball. She tends to put it a bit high because she's taller, and with her longer reach, she's able to get up there and get balls where others can't.
Yale has not gotten much on their player-up opportunities today. 1 turnover and 1 shot that was saved. Fallon Vaughn at X. Carasquillo comes in and scores. Sam DeVito's on the ground for Syracuse, asking for a dangerous follow-through call. But right now, the call is a good goal for Carasquillo.
And this is the difference between this play here and the last play when they were numbers up. Sky Carasquillo coming down the middle with authority, with speed, with pace.
Well, Syracuse has challenged this, and based on these replays, Christine, I would not be surprised at all. Honestly, I'd be surprised if this was not overturned. She hit her pretty clearly in the head.
Right in the head, yeah.
The only thing that you would have to say that is kind of unfortunate for Carasquillo is that, she was wide open and DeVito came in late, and that's sort of why Carasquillo wasn't prepared to
pull the stick back.
Right. So it was the fact that DeVito was so late closing that caused it, but I don't think there's any getting around the fact that she hit her right on top of the head.
Yeah, either way, no matter what happens there, and we'll see this, obviously it's no malice on part of Sky. She's trying to hold the stick back when she realizes the defender popped in under her. But, it's just that momentum, right? That's that speed, that pace she has, just a Mack truck going down the lane, picking up that ball. And this is what you need to be able to get by Guyette. I mean, she's been amazing today in between the pipes.
So this is the difference between 7-5 or remaining 7-4. If there's any team in the country that's used to being in spots like this, it is Yale. They've won so many games the last 2 years where things have not looked good for 45, 50, 55 minutes, but this is a big moment because it did feel like they just might have grabbed some momentum and it might be taken right back away from them.
And Yale knows how to win in close games. 3 wins, 1 loss in games by 1 goal this season. And, talking to Coach Bamford, they had a lot of stress the end of the season. They're playing Cornell to figure out who goes to the Ivy League tournament or not. A week ago, they had no idea if they were going to have postseason play at all for the Ivies. And then obviously in the Ivy tournament, the semifinal winds up being close. They get a little bit of breather when they play Princeton in the championship. Even Friday, their game winds up being closer than probably what anybody predicted.
This is taking quite a while, so certainly not totally clear-cut. Again, you're very happy to have replay. You want to get the calls right. But one thing that is a little striking, Christine, is that it felt like the first half flew by so quickly. And I keep looking at the scoreboard and wondering how have we not even played half the third quarter
Yeah,
yet,
exactly.
Right?
And we've seen this a bunch of times this year when the play gets choppy, right, for whatever reason, it's hard for the players to get back into that flow. But, this Syracuse defense has just done wonders today. You can't talk enough about it. Their slides, how compact they're staying within the 8.
So the head coaches are about to get the explanation. And Christine, this is going to be no goal and a yellow card against Carasquillo. So as we expected, that's as bad of an overturn as you could possibly get if you're a Yale fan.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but listen, women's lacrosse, it is a non-contact sport. Anytime that stick goes, anytime it hits anyone above the shoulders, and again, not that Sky meant any malice by it by any means. It's just her following through. It's her momentum, but she is hitting the player in the head with her stick. So that'll be a yellow card. 2 minutes for Sky Carasquillo in the box.
Great shot by our camera crew, who have done such an amazing job throughout this weekend. Conditions today obviously better than on Friday when they handled the rain and the wind and the cold for a lot of hours. And now Syracuse will have possession. Each team will be a player down for 31 seconds, and then Syracuse will be a player up for 1:29. Right now they have their largest lead of the game at 3. They are looking to make it even larger. "15 seconds away from Leha being released." This was 5-4 Syracuse at halftime, and they have the only 2 goals so far in the third. And now it is a woman up for the Orange.
This will be a big minute here for the Yale defense. Can they get a stop being a player down?
Pfaff has made 3 saves in this game. Guyette has 8 on the other side. Caramelli for Cotter. Now it's Ward. Got her first point of the game moments ago on an assist. Volpe, 4 goals already today, tying her career high. Shot clock is down to 25. Still lots of time on the card, though. Volpe. Ward finds Muchnick, the All-American. Gives it up. A lot of room here, and the shot missed from Caramelli. Backed up by Syracuse, but the shot clock is still running, and they are going to take a shot clock violation. So really good defensive possession for Yale there, Christine, and I don't know if you agree, but to me it felt like Syracuse was way too selective there.
Yeah, I agree. They were taking their time and not coming with the energy that we've seen. But credit the Yale Bulldogs. I mean, that is a big stop right there. Emily Pascal, she does so great with the clears, just weaving through players in between the 30s.
Yale is perfect clearing for the weekend. Came into the game 94% this season, which, as Christine mentioned, is 6th best in the country.
And I talked to Emmy Pascal exactly about that, and she says, of course she's going to credit her teammates, but she does such a great job just slashing through players and getting that ball up.
Caroline Burt gives it up for Calignan. Can Yale get Jenna Calignan involved in this game offensively? Still 1 goal away from tying the career record. Fallon Vaughn looking. Extra pass for Lane, shooting space call. And Taylor Lane, who has 2 goals and 2 assists today, will try and make this a 2-goal game.
And that's a good pass out by Vaughn. She was double teamed there at X.
Taylor Lane, kicked away. Danny Guyette with her 9th save.
Have a game, Guyette.
3rd team All-ACC goalie.
Better check her foot, see if she broke any toes on that one.
Carasquillo's pass was knocked down by DeVito, the former Princeton Tiger, and we're going to have another foul against Carasquillo, and if that's yellow, and it is, she's disqualified. For the 2nd year in a row, one of Yale's All-Americans gets a 2nd yellow card in the NCAA tournament against Syracuse.
And this is a tough one here. Sticks are just tangled, and she's just trying to get her stick out.
And they're going to review this.
I mean,
I got to be honest, Christine.
I don't see it.
From that angle, it looks like, let's watch it again. That is quite the reaction from DeVito. She might have touched her head, but there's no way it warranted that reaction.
Definitely not. And again, the sticks are just tangled. So if you're looking at it, Sky Carasquillo is not coming down or going towards her. She's actually trying to get away. But you're right. Definitely that reaction played into it.
Now, give her credit, right? That's what you do. She's a veteran, savvy player, grad transfer from Princeton. But, this is the 3rd review we've had of the game. It's the first one that is not giving or taking away a goal, but it might be the most important one.
Yeah, it determines whether Sky's staying in the game or not. 2 yellows, you're disqualified. We saw what happened last year when Yale was playing at Syracuse. Fallon Vaughn a lot earlier received, or I say earned, 2 yellows.
And it's not only what Carasquillo does offensively for Yale, 50 goals and 7 assists this year, but she's also the draw taker right now.
Yeah, she just got put under draw, won the draw, and if she's disqualified, that just takes away that other chess match that Yale likes to use at the draw circle.
So last year it was a 19-9 win for Syracuse in the JMA Wireless Dome in the national quarterfinal. This year a 7-4 lead for the Orange in the 2nd round of the tournament. And after falling behind 3-0, Syracuse has scored 7 of the last 8 in this game. And we will see what happens here. But, Christine, what's interesting is that if you boil the 2 games down to one sentence, and I know you can't do that, but last year's issue was Yale couldn't stop Syracuse. This year's issue is they can't score against them.
And it's really been Guyette between the pipes. She has just been amazing. She has stolen so many shots, so many down the middle.
So this call is going to be overturned, and they're going to call embellishment on DeVito, which, again, you really want to be careful when you're in our spot up here, especially when it comes to head contact, but we saw enough replays there that she either didn't touch her or barely touched her, and DeVito went down like a house of bricks. So she's going to be given a green card, and frankly, if you're her, it is worth it because the reward is so great. You get an All-American on the other team kicked out of the game, but you can see it. She didn't touch her, and she went down like Ray Lewis ran over.
Yeah, it's like we're watching Copa America or something.
So,
but this is huge, right? I mean, obviously a big scare for the Bulldogs, a big scare for Sky Carrasquillo, and guess what? You're back.
So a game that has become remarkably choppy and card-filled now has Yale a player up for a minute with 4:30 to go in the third quarter.
And Syracuse fans obviously are not happy, but they're not watching our show.
Yeah, I don't think Kayla Trainer really even argued, so that should tell you something.
They would have seen it on the sideline on their iPads.
Taylor Lane, Ashley Kiernan's in there for the first time. She scored 2 big goals on Friday for Yale. Carrasquillo with that second life in this game. Lane, high pass. Vaughn to the middle. That's a really tough pass. It got knocked down. Foul called, though, against Syracuse, so Yale will restart with the clock running down to 10 seconds on the card. Still time left on the shot clock, though. Plenty of it. And now the entire card is run out. So back to even strength. Jenna Calignan looking in front. Carrasquillo. Bouncing ball picked up by Caroline Burt. Now Vaughn. Sharp angle. Guyette got a piece of it. Fresh 60 for Yale. Taylor Lane to the middle. Vaughn, quick stick. She scores.
And this is what it's going to take. It is going to take multiple shots, multiple chances at the goal to get it by Guyette. That's just how strong she has been in goal. Fallon Vaughn able to figure it out, making that cut, and it takes a quick stick shot to get it by Guyette.
Yale has 9 points in this game, Christine. 8 of them have come from Lane and Vaughn. 2 goals and an assist for Fallon Vaughn. She is now up to 222 points in her career, which is the 5th most in Yale history. And Lane has 5 points today, the 2nd most she's had in a game this year.
And as we near the end of this third quarter, you're still looking at Emma Ward and Jenna Calignan with 0 goals.
And Muchnick does not have any goals.
Sky won the last one. Let's see what she can do here.
Road has it. Lost it. 3 white jerseys around 1 blue, and it's Yale ball. So obviously, you know, it's and that is going to be another.
That's got to be a green card. It has to be a green card.
I don't think so.
It has to be. That's the rules.
And now the officials are going to come together and talk about it.
I mean, it's the rules. It's what it is. If you're going to call a foul within the 30s, it's a green card.
And it looks like they're going to go review this.
My question is, are they going to review it to figure out who I would hope, who the green card goes on?
Well, a couple odd things. It was only one official that went in there to look at it, and there's no card. It's just a foul. And the official just went to talk to the scorer's table, so they did not review anything. Either way, it's Yale ball. Carrasquillo gives it up for Taylor Lane. We're under 2.5 minutes to go in the third. 7-5 our score. Quick pass, Calignan. DeVito's done a great job on her today, as has every Syracuse defender that's seen 14 in white.
She's wide open in the middle. They just can't find Calignan.
Fallon Vaughn gets top side. Still Vaughn. She's got another. Back-to-back for the All-American.
And it may be Fallon Vaughn who needs to take this Bulldog team, put it on her back. That is exactly what she is doing right now. 3 goals, 1 assist for the All-American midfielder.
You know, you talk about a player that probably has so much motivation, not only because of what happened last year, but, you know, Fallon Vaughn was, for the 4th time in her career, named a first-team All-Ivy League midfielder this year. But after being named Midfielder of the Year last year, she lost out on that award to Anna Brandt of Penn this year. So you wonder if there's even more kind of fueling the performances we've seen from the great Fallon Vaughn over these last couple postseason games.
And Fallon Vaughn, just one of those players. She's at practice early, at practice late, working hard in February, in the snow, in the heat, in the summer. I mean, she is just one of those do or die Yale Bulldogs.
One of 16 seniors that are hoping their careers do not end today. Foul here on Kara Squillo there as Muchnick got knocked down. So the Orange get the ball back with under 2 to go in the 3rd quarter, and we have the same differential as we had at halftime. Syracuse +1 in this game. It's 7-6. This is by far the lowest scoring game of any of the second round games going on in the country today. Winner gets Boston College on Thursday in Chestnut Hill. Trinkus got wide open, and Pfaff stopped her. And the rebound ends up with Saviano. I think it was Maggie Bellissimo, the first year, who kind of knocked the ball over to her.
I mean, Pfaff just read that so cleanly. Able to parry it away and out of the crease, not on the doorstep for Syracuse to pick up.
That was as point-blank a look as you could ask for. And Sophie Straka, the Yale captain, cleared easily. So Yale's 12 for 12 clearing today. And now they have a chance to tie this game for the first time since the middle of the 2nd quarter.
Such momentum changes today.
And it's interesting how you could have such momentum changes in a game that's featured barely any goals.
Yeah. Hey, defense wins championships, right? And this is what it's going to take to get to the national quarterfinals.
Taylor Lane to the middle. That was knocked down, but comes to Kelly Holmes, and then another dangerous pass is intercepted. Yale got away with one of them, but not 2. Guyette's out of the crease, so Lane's trying to pressure her. And Kayla Traynor took a timeout there. Interesting timeout with 17 seconds to go.
I think she saw Guyette in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, she certainly was in trouble, and you take the timeout so she doesn't turn the ball over, of course, but with the ball where it is, I'm not sure it's worth taking a timeout because you only have 17 seconds left here.
Still, I think there's time to get a shot off, get down the field.
Well, they've put 1.8 back on the clock, so it's 19. I mean, obviously she's
down there and we're up here.
She's doing.
We'll just say she knows the game of women's lacrosse just a little bit. And we see Yale on the opposite side, obviously riding up defensively in their ride, what they're going to do. Wow, I mean, what a back and forth game. Momentum changes, runs from each team, critical calls going both ways.
Don't forget the potential second yellow on Sky Carasquillo. Yale has scored twice since then, so it's a 2-0 run, which is not huge, but it's bigger in a game like this. So that was the difference between Yale being down 7-4 and losing one of their best players, and her staying in the game and seemingly shifting momentum back in the Bulldogs' favor. We have a couple of quarterfinal matchups already set. the number 1 seed and undefeated North Carolina will play Princeton, who beat the 8 seed Hopkins 18-12 today. So that's one game on Thursday. Another game is the 4 seed Florida, who survived Stanford in double overtime 13-12 against Duke, another unseeded team getting to the quarterfinal. They blew out number 5 Virginia 17-9 today. Unseeded Penn beat the 6 seed Maryland 11-10 in double overtime. They await the winner of the 3 seed Northwestern and Michigan. Northwestern leads it 4-2 right now in the second quarter. And the winner of this game gets the 2 seed and defending national champion Boston College, who beat Stony Brook 10-7 today.
Welcome to May Madness.
After a Friday that featured almost no close games, we've gotten almost all close games today. Out of the timeout, DeVito ahead. I'm going to say that was now not a good timeout. Here comes Yale. Collignon trying to find Vaughn. She's got it! And she just missed. That would have been one of the most memorable moments of this entire NCAA tournament. Instead, it's just a very exciting end to the third quarter. 7-6 Syracuse as we go to the fourth.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. Come experience the flame grilled difference with 2 Whopper Juniors for just $5.
In this game, making the right move is hard. Unless you use Open Door to sell your home, then it's pretty easy.
Ashton! I need the bathroom.
Almost there, Mom. Open Door, here for life's big moves.
Today, I choose us how to screen us for colon cancer. Here, on my land, not theirs. Give me Cologuard or give me...
We can do that for you.
What, no battle?
Nope. Just a prescription.
Victory!
Cologuard is an effective and non-invasive colon cancer screening test. False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy. Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
It's a low-scoring game here at Reese Stadium, and Danny Guyette is a big reason why. Christine, 10 saves for the third-team All-ACC goalkeeper.
And not just any type of saves. I mean, she is getting foot saves. She's saving it in the pocket. She has been all over the place. Just a wall in between the pipes today. I mean, look at that kick save. Next level stuff by Guyette. She is not ready to go home.
Her team led 7-4, but Yale scored the last 2 goals of the third quarter to make this 7-6. And now, what else could you ask for? A 1-goal game going to the fourth quarter and a meeting with Boston College on the line Thursday in Chestnut Hill. For Syracuse, if they can get there, it'll be the 3rd year in a row they play BC in the NCAA tournament. For Yale, it would be their 2nd straight year getting to a national quarterfinal, only the 3rd time in program history. Carasquillo and Rode, the draw takers as we start the fourth. Draw controls are 9-7 Syracuse in the game. And Fallon Vaughn stepped in and got that one. She got kind of run over. There was a whistle for a foul. She did still get it to Carasquillo. So either way, it would have been Yale ball, but they have it. And now a chance to tie.
How about that? Just Fallon Vaughn laying her body out in order to get that ball in her stick pocket.
One of the 16 Yale seniors looking to extend their careers for a couple more days. Caroline Burt on the goal line. It is Vaughn at X. She has 3 goals and an assist today. Kiernan out for Collignon. Held off the board so far. Vaughn gets top side, fakes again. Still Vaughn, and she gives it up. Now Taylor Lane. 2 goals and 3 assists today. She and Vaughn have 9 of Yale's 10 points. Lane at GLE. Kelly Holmes, the first year. Swings it for Kiernan. Lane searching. Shot clock running low. Foul and Vaughn. That hit off a stick. Muchnick lost her stick in the process. Holmes to the middle. And that is loose in front. Up in the air. Kalignan. She scores! And that ties the record. It ties the game, and it ties Tracy Ball's long-standing career goals record here in New Haven.
And talking about the ball just bouncing in the right way of the Bulldogs, Jenna Kalignan able to get this one, snag it from the air, and then bring it down to put it down on target between the pipes.
It had to be one of those kinds of bounces for her to finally get a look at goal. But the now tied for greatest goal scorer in the history of the program knots this game at 7. It was 3-0 Yale. It was 7-4 Syracuse, and now it's 7-7.
What a game.
And a draw control for Syracuse, though credited to Rode. There was a foul before Vogelman picked it up. Ashley Volpe had 4 goals in the first half. We have not called her name much in the second half. It's going to be interesting to see how the fourth quarter goes, Christine. We had so many cards, stoppages, reviews in the third quarter. It took almost an hour. Hopefully this fourth quarter has some more rhythm to it and the players can be more the ones that decide this game. Trinkus was fouled by Katie Clare. One goal today for Caroline Trinkus, the freshman from here in Connecticut. She's from Ridgefield. Third team All-ACC.
And for some 2 very powerful offenses, it sure has been a defensive day.
What's interesting is that the other quote-unquote low-scoring game today was the BC Stony Brook game. So the winner of this game gets BC, who won that game. Here's Trinkus. Gives it up for Ward. Just 1 assist today for Ward. That's knocked down. It's Becca Gill again. Oh, wow, they called the foul on Yale. A charge on Yale. Volpe drew it, and the Orange get another possession.
Such craziness today.
Watch this again. Hard to say either way.
Got some LeBrons on the field.
I do think it was a charge, but I thought Volpe stepped back into the crease before there was any contact.
For all the contact we've had today, though,
yeah, it's just hard because
it was pretty minuscule.
When it's so open, when it's, one-on-one in the open field, it's so obvious to see. It's hard to not call it. Certainly a big call, though. Ward gets it moving with Vogelman. The Orange looking for the lead back. Foul there on Sophie Straka, the Yale captain, who did not appear in a game last year because she was hurt. still voted as the lone team captain. Erica Bamford cannot speak highly enough about her senior, who last year was kind of an extra coach on the sideline and now such a valuable part of the midfield and defense.
Yeah, with all the injuries, she wound up moving up to midi.
Volpe cuts her way in, and another foul. Free position here for Volpe, and she has, as we've seen a couple times today, as lethal a shot as you will find.
And she's been riding the momentum.
Volpe gave it up. Trenkis got run over. And they're going to say she was in the crease. No foul, Yale ball. Kayla Trainer wants this reviewed badly. And she gets...
We have whistles, we have horns, we have Emma Ward going nuts.
She gets what she wants.
This is playoff lacrosse.
I know it's hard because you want everything to be right, but...
It's been choppy.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it's hard not to feel like the players are not deciding this game. It's hard to feel like the players are the ones deciding this game. There are so many stoppages, reviews, conferences.
Controversial calls one way or the other.
And it's not their fault. I mean, you cannot avoid there being close plays. But this second half, I mean, again, we're having a great time here, so I don't mean this in any way by saying, the game needs to go faster or anything like that, but, usually a game that starts at 2 is over now. And you can see how much time we have left.
And it's tough to get into a rhythm if you're a player. So we obviously know she fell in the crease, right? That's not going to be the issue. The issue is going to be whether she was pushed into the crease or not.
Yeah, and there's a couple issues. One, was she pushed in the crease? And 2, was she fouled being pushed into the crease?
We definitely know Emma Ward backed up the shot because she was not letting that ball go.
Well, Kayla Trainer just went over and grabbed her whiteboard because she thinks she's going to have a chance to draw up an offensive play here. And I'm looking down at the Yale sideline, and all the attackers are kind of huddled together, and all the defenders are talking about something strategic. At least it looks that way.
And the question is, right, the whistle, I believe, was not blown right away like it was a foul. So they blew the whistle afterwards when she fell in the crease. The question is, if now they go and review it, are they able to go back to say, my bad, that was a foul?
Yes, you can, but the call on the field was Yale ball in the crease.
Correct.
So we'll see. It is worth noting, you mentioned, some injuries before. Both these teams do not quite look the way that you would have expected them to at the beginning of the season. And, that's true of sports, but Olivia Adamson, who is as good as it gets in the country, nearly 300 career points in her first 3 years at Syracuse, was injured early this season, got hurt in a game against Northwestern in February, season-ending injury, so we haven't seen her since, and that has caused Syracuse to get a lot younger. And on the Yale side, Taylor Everson, mid-season, season-ending injury. Karina Herrera, early season, season-ending injury. Those two would have been very valuable members of Yale's attack unit. So both teams have sort of had to rebuild and reshape themselves as this year's gone along.
And for those that were watching the selection show and watching the watch parties, Herrera is okay after her celebration fall, as we saw in the watch party. I did follow up on that.
So the head coaches called together again. And we're hearing from our production room, at the very least, this is being overturned. So good challenge again from Kayla Trainer. And then we're going to have to see if there's any cards, fouls, whose ball, where.
Maybe we'll have Kayla and Erica just rock, paper, scissors right there in front of the officials.
I mean, Erica Bamford doesn't look especially upset. Although she rarely does.
Tell you, she's been excited with a few calls, though, today.
To be honest, it seems like both coaches are just trying to figure out what's being explained to them.
And that's a lot of it, right? I feel like there have been so many controversial calls. I'm not saying bad on the officials by any means. Just could really go either way, so.
So let's watch this again. See, Trinkus got tangled up with Saviano, and they ended up calling a foul on Saviano. She's still out there, so no card. And it's just going to be a free position for Syracuse with a chance to take the lead back. Caroline Trinkus has 7 free position goals this year in 9 free position shots coming in.
Officials are still trying to talk it over.
The shot clock is at 90. And the Yale sideline is screaming shot clock, so perhaps it shouldn't be at 90.
And with this type of game, especially as this goes on in the fourth quarter, you don't want to see the game end up with a player up, player down situation or a bunch of free positions to determine the winner. Just because the teams have played so great today, these are obviously 2 of the top teams in the country. You want the players to be able to determine who wins by their outcome and what they put out on the field.
This is just not what you want in an NCAA tournament game. We just had a 5-minute review, and now we're back reviewing the shot clock again. It's just too much of everybody standing and waiting for calls. You know, speaking of videos on social media, as you mentioned, commencement was this weekend up in Syracuse. Obviously, the players not able to go, so they held a little mini mock commencement in the ballroom of their hotel yesterday. Pretty cool of the Orange to do that, and you know, those are the kind of little things that you give up as a student athlete at times. You don't get to walk in your commencement, so credit to the coaching staff for Syracuse for, you know, making it still a special day for their team, and it could be a really special weekend if they can, you know, win this game.
That would definitely be worth missing graduation if you get a win here to go to the quarterfinals.
You have to win both games to make it worth it, in your opinion, or?
Listen, I would skip graduation to win any game. It doesn't matter. Just put me on the field.
Well, if you're just joining us, Yale got off to a really fast start in this game. It was 3-0 early in the first quarter. Syracuse went on a 4-0 run, and a run that ended up being 7-1 to go up 7-4. Yale has scored the last 3, and it's 7-7 with 10:24 to go in regulation. There have already been a couple of overtime games around the country today, and well, this certainly seems like one that could be ticketed for some extra time, you know, if it ever starts again.
Just going to have some more chats here at the scorer's table. Officials are trying to figure it out and do maybe a replay of the replay.
Are you hourly?
Need a pay raise. Wait, we get paid?
Neve Pfaff with 4 saves today. Took over as the starter midseason for Yale. And, you know, the first game she actually started, she lost against Brown. And Erica Bamford felt like after the game, maybe it was a little too early to put her in that spot as a first-year player. But, you know, you've watched her grow all year, and she's made some really great saves today.
And that's part of it, right? As a first year, she's still trying to figure out this next level. The speed and the pace of the athletes coming at you is so different than high school. Fallon Vaughn, just one of the best two-way middies, going from cage to cage every game. I mean, the work rate that she puts in is just so high, and 3 goals today for her.
See her chatting there with Sam DeVito. Those two played against each other for 3 years as Yale and Princeton rivals, and now they are Yale and Syracuse rivals. Interestingly enough, the Syracuse men's team is also playing in the NCAA tournament against an Ivy League opponent today. They are playing Harvard at the JMA Wireless Dome in about 50 minutes.
Could still be on air by the time that starts.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be perfect timing. 2 o'clock start, 5 o'clock start for Syracuse fans to watch both, but I don't know anymore.
Did you delay your tea time?
You know, we were speaking in jest in some ways, but also, I mean, how long has it been since we played? And
we're
as
up here,
far as we know, they're only looking at the shot clock right now.
And we're up here joking around, but don't forget, I mean, these players, they can't get tight. They have to stay loose. We've got, interesting enough, we have the Yale players over there in the Syracuse huddle listening in to what the coaches have to say. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, but I don't think it was anything strategic because they all started laughing at whatever Kayla Trainer said.
Because there's nothing, Kayla's not going to say anything that's going to tip off Yale, that's for sure.
Have to ask her what she said.
Emma's coming out, smiling as well.
If Syracuse wins this game, we can ask her after. If they don't, we can ask her what she said maybe in 6 months. So the shot clock is at 29, and kind of the funny part about all of this is Trinkus is probably just going to go shoot here because it's a good angle on a free position shot. Here she goes. Trinkus to the net, and she scores. Syracuse back up 8-7.
Long awaited, but if you're a Syracuse fan, it's worth the wait. Trinkus, I mean, we knew she was going to go right at it like this. She's going to fake it up and get it up and over Pfaff.
Do you think it's harder on the shooter or the goalie after standing around for that long?
I think it should be the shooter, right? The goalies are normally there anyway. They're not, I don't want to say not moving around. Don't hate me, goalies.
It's a good point, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just side shuffling within their crease, where if you're tight as a field player and you're accelerating like you are out of a free position spot, I think it's harder for the shooter. And look, we're going back now. You know, Sky Carasquillo's done a great job on the draw against Rhode this second half. Yeah, it's just, you know, you hate to say it every time this draw, it is just so important, not just for the people taking it right here, but those circle players are just battling.
Draws are 10-8, favoring the Orange so far. And Sky Carasquillo has it. So Yale has certainly taken control of the draws back since Carasquillo became the draw taker.
And it's just a different look. I mean, we've seen Calignan all year. We've seen Sky all year. We've seen Fallon all year. It's quality different looks. That's what Coach Molly Pala works with them. She is the draw specialist. Works with them every single day on different strategies. How are you holding the stick? Where are you telling your circle players where to go? Where the ball's going to go?
Under 10 to play in regulation. Jenna Calignan had the last goal for Yale to tie the all-time scoring record in program history. One more would tie the game again and give her the record to herself. Taylor Lane has had a huge day. About a half minute to shoot here, and again a bad pass. And a foul on Yale as Benoit got knocked down. How about the game that Izzy Leha has played? Again, the sophomore had appeared in 4 games all year and not started any before Friday. And she has been outstanding on defense this weekend.
And Coach Trainer said she's just one of those players, has worked hard during these 2 weeks of off week. It was just a reset for Syracuse, having that much time off. They're able to work on themselves, adjust some things, and players like Leahy have come up big.
Found it interesting that Kayla Trainer said, you know, even if we got to the championship game of the ACC tournament, it's still about 2 weeks until your first NCAA tournament game. They happened to lose in the quarterfinals, so it was Wednesday, 2 weeks, and the following Friday, so 16 days between games for them. But she said, I like that the ACC does that. We need the rest. We need the recovery. Generally in sports, I think most teams would rather just have a week off rather than 16 days.
Especially at the end of the season, just get everyone healthy.
Long possession here for the Orange. 20 seconds to shoot. Bree Peters tries to split a double and can't. Straka and Pascal were there. Whips it in. Ward missed the net. And who's closer? They're going to say Syracuse. Bellissimo kind of tried to take the shorter route to the end line. Now she knocks down that pass and picks it up. So she'll get credit for a caused turnover. It would have been a shot clock violation anyway. But this Yale defense, 4th-ranked scoring D in the country, comes up with a stop when it needs one. By the way, the game times on Thursday for the quarterfinal round have not been announced yet. The times are announced, but not who's playing when. But we know the games will be Thursday. And we know the winner of this one will play the defending national champions in their home building. Fallon Vaughn had that knocked away by Caramelli, and then she was fouled.
Seeing a lot of high pressure and a lot of double teams heading at Fallon Vaughn today.
Carasquillo finds Collignon, tries to get downhill. And finally, a 3-second call against Syracuse. You know, Collignon is so dynamite on these free position shots. 21 free position goals this year, which is 7th in the country. This is her first one all game if she takes a shot here. Trying to tie this game again. Jenna Collignon. She scores! It's a tie game, and Jenna Collignon, the all-time leading goal scorer in Yale history. Number 210 might be the biggest one she's ever scored. 8-8, 6:51 to go.
In this game, making the right move is hard. Unless you use Open Door to sell your home, then it's pretty easy.
Ashton! I need the bathroom.
Almost done, Mom. Open Door, here for life's big moves.
9 to 5 in the rear view, and now happy hour has arrived. Let's leave this man to his $6 Popeyes Big Box. That's work crunch balance.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Consumer Reports ranks car brands on more than 50 road tests, reliability surveys, owner satisfaction surveys, and safety ratings from IIHS. And for 2025, Consumer Reports' most reliable automotive brand is Subaru. It's no surprise they also named Subaru the best overall automotive brand. Safe, reliable, trusted, loved. Subaru.
Today, I choose us how to screen us for colon cancer. Yeah, on my land, not theirs. Give me Kologan or give
Excuse me? We can do that for you.
What, no battle?
Nope. Just a prescription.
Victory!
Cologuard is an effective and non-invasive colon cancer screening test. False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy. Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
Well, Jenna Collignon has had one of the greatest careers anyone ever has here at Yale. She's been a part of the winningest class in the history of the school. She's looking to get them back to the NCAA quarterfinal for a second year in a row, but Christine, she now has the record all to herself. 210 goals. Just incredible for the senior from Hinsdale, Illinois.
Just an amazing player, an amazing person on top of it, an amazing student athlete. What she has done here, we've seen so many of her goals. She is multi-dimensional. She's able to score different ways. She's able to dish. And we've seen her take so many draws. She just means so much, not only to this Yale team, but the Yale program and community.
All right, so as much as you need to and want to recognize that, it's now over, and you've got an 8-8 game with 6:51 to go. This has been as good as you could possibly imagine from start to finish. Second year in a row, Yale and Syracuse are playing in the NCAA tournament. Last year it was a blowout. This year, anything but.
And we were expecting a good game today. I don't think we were expecting one like this.
Draw controls are 10-9 orange. And Carasquillo just plucked that out of the air.
That's what she's so good at.
And that was a little scary if you're a Yale fan, but the pass got through to Straka. And now Yale has a chance to take its first lead since it was 3-2 in the first quarter.
And there have been a lot of scary passes today by Yale. 12 turnovers for them. Friday they had 6.
Obviously a different caliber of opponent today.
For sure. The zonal defense by Syracuse has just been amazing today.
Here is Collignon. Kelly Holmes, the first year. Now it's Vaughn with under 6 minutes to play. Looking to get top side and gives it up for Lane. Into the middle, Carasquillo. Did not have a lane to shoot. Kiernan for Holmes. Collignon searching for room. Shooting, she scores!
Collignon is not done. Big-time players making big-time plays in big-time games, and that's what Jenna Collignon has done for her 4 years here at Yale. Just unbelievable what she does. Just needs a little bit of space to be able to launch this ball.
In the regular season, when Yale and Syracuse played each other, the Orange face-guarded Collignon for 3 quarters, so she didn't have a goal. And then they came out of it in the fourth, and she scored 3 times. Today, they didn't face-guard her, but they basically double-teamed her the whole time. She had no goals through 3 quarters, and now, again, a hat trick, and Yale has its first lead since 3-2. A whistle on the draw, Yale ball.
And with Collignon, I mean, she's so calm, composed, such poise in front of the net, and I feel her teammates feed off of that.
Yale has 4 seniors on this team that have all been all Ivy League all 4 years of their career, all have at least 130 points in their career. It's Vaughn, it's Lane, it's Carasquillo, and it's Collignon, and they have accounted for every single point for Yale in this game.
And that's what's needed today, that senior leadership. Don't forget how young Syracuse is.
Under 5 minutes to play. Kiernan swings it back for Vaughn. Fallon Vaughn. That is dangerous. It's over Carasquillo. Somebody stepped over the line. Who was it?
Let's chat about it.
Ooh, offside on both teams.
What's that call?
And that gives the ball to Syracuse. Is that like a we can't decide, so it's calling on both of them?
Thought maybe we'd do a jump ball at the center circle or something.
Oh, boy. Right now, the Syracuse coaching staff asking for basically an explanation. It looks like we're a little shielded, but it looks like under the scores table in the penalty area, there are players for both teams. So each team should be a player down. So Syracuse with the ball here, down by 1. First time they've trailed in the second half. There's a green card on Bree Peters. So it's Syracuse ball, but they're, I guess, apparently a player down here. So Syracuse is just going to hold it until they get back to even strength. Both these teams have played so many close games against good teams this year, so this is not a new situation to anybody on this field or anybody on either sideline. Back to even strength, half a minute for the Orange. Volpe has led the way with 4 goals today. Trinkus has 2.
Volpe's been quiet this second half. It's really been a difference.
Ward and Muchnick, neither with a goal today. They're top 2 goal scorers this year. Ward gives it up. A spin in the middle. Here's Volpe. Down to 6 seconds. They got to go. It's Ward. Pass down low. Shot, and that missed. Shot clock violation.
Winds up being another clutch stop for the Bulldogs.
This Yale team has been to the national quarterfinal twice.
Every possession is just so important right now in these final few minutes.
In 2003, as Erica Bamford's going to take a timeout, in 2003, just across the street at Johnson Field, which is now a beautiful field hockey facility, Yale beat Syracuse on a rock-hard AstroTurf field for their first ever win in the NCAA tournament and their first ever national quarterfinal. Last year, Yale hosted the NCAA tournament at Reese Stadium for the first time, this absolutely stunning facility. They beat Binghamton. They beat Johns Hopkins to go to their second national quarterfinal ever. It was the first time in program history that they won 2 games in a single NCAA tournament. They had a chance to go to the Final Four for the first time ever. They went up to the JMA Wireless Dome, and frankly, Christine, they got punched in the mouth. 19-9. They were overwhelmed by Syracuse, and the Orange went to their second Final Four in a row and third in the last 4 years. This year, this Yale team, with all these seniors, had a little bit of a different story. After a 7-0 start, there was a 3-game slide in March. They lost at Stanford. They lost at Brown. They lost here to Princeton. But a couple days after that Princeton loss, this Syracuse team came here to New Haven. Yale beat them. They haven't lost since. And today they have gotten everything they could have wanted and more from one of the great programs in the history of this sport. And right now, they are up 1 with 2:46 to go and potentially 2 minutes and 46 seconds, all that separates them from a trip to Boston and a second consecutive trip to the national quarterfinal. And right now, I mean, Yale's been in this situation a million times, but you play the balance of running clock and trying to add an insurance goal here.
Definitely. This Yale coaching staff, they're going to write something up right now. Going to wait, I think. Get that shot clock down a little bit. Leave enough time for a possible rebound. But use as much as possible with the 1-goal lead.
Yale's last 3 goals in this game have come from Jenna Collignon, who has just become the leading goal scorer in the history of the program. If Yale wins this game, 3 of the final 8 teams in the NCAA tournament will be from the Ivy League. The ACC's already got North Carolina there. Boston College is there. Duke will be there. Can Syracuse get there as well? Taylor Lane with the ball. Low pass, dangerous, but Collignon got it. Kelly Holmes, the first year playing with all these seniors in the attack unit. Now Carasquillo for Collignon. Lobs it behind. Vaughn moves it for Kiernan. 2 minutes to play. Fallon Vaughn moves it for Kiernan. Lane for a cutting Vaughn. Takes the contact and missed just wide. Kiernan was closest. It stays with Yale. 10 seconds to shoot. Collignon for Kelly Holmes. It's Ashley Newman up top. Collignon trying to draw a whistle. Guyette makes an easy save. Syracuse gets a stop. 90 seconds to go. Will Kayla Traynor let her team go or take a timeout here? Caramelli. And now they want the timeout. They were waiting to see if they had a numbers advantage. They didn't, and now they'll stop it. With 1:14 to go, the shot clock won't be a factor.
I think everyone can exhale a little bit now during that timeout. You know, it's just this Syracuse zonal defense. I mean, look at how many players are just compact and scrunched in right in front of the crease. They've done such a great job on their slide package today. They've done great communicating and figuring out who is picking up what player. And they've also been very aggressive out for whatever Yale player has that ball, but still able to recover where they don't get caught numbers down.
Already today, 2 games around the country have not gone to 1 overtime, but 2. Florida and Stanford started out the day in the driving rain in Gainesville, and Florida survived 13-12 in double overtime. And then a little bit later, Penn in double overtime upset Maryland in College Park 11-10. The other games, BC, a 3-goal winner over Stony Brook. North Carolina doubled up Clemson 18-9. Duke nearly did the same to Virginia 17-9. Princeton, a really impressive 18-12 win over Johns Hopkins. And Northwestern is up 7-4 in the third quarter against Michigan. Our game, anything but decided with 1:14 to go. 9-8. Yale with the lead. Syracuse led this game 7-4. And the Bulldogs have gone on a 5-1 run. And now a Syracuse team that has gotten no goals today from its top 2 goal scorers all season has a decision to make. Do you go to the ones that have carried you here or the ones that have carried you today?
And this is where experience is going to come into play, right? The experienced Bulldogs on defense right now, Syracuse with their young players. First time here, a lot of them in an NCAA tournament.
Ashley Volpe will start with the ball. Syracuse has played 4 games this year that have been decided by 1 goal, and they are 3-1 in those games. Wins against Stanford, Notre Dame, and Virginia. The only loss to Johns Hopkins. Yale beat Penn by 1 in the Ivy semis. Cornell by 1 in the regular season finale. Also a 1-goal win against Penn in the regular season. This game looks for sure like it's going to be decided by 1 goal. You have to think Emma Ward will be involved in some way here. Katie Clare is wearing her like a shirt right now. Here is Emma Ward, the all-time leading assister in Syracuse history. Caramelli for Volpe. Forced below the goal line, it's Trinkus. Trinkus, they cycle it for Muchnick. Trinkus again. "30 seconds. Muchnick. Melina Cotter gave it to Peters. Down to 20 seconds. Emma Ward looks, gives it up. Right in front, Peters, it hit Bellissimo. And that means it's a yellow card on Peters, and that might be it. A team in Yale that has been led for years by this 16-player senior class has a first year make the headiest play of the season. And now Emmy Pascal's gonna try and run this out. Down to 10 seconds. Pascal throws it across for Vaughn. Vaughn gives it up. Collignon, and this game is over. Yale is shipping up to Boston for the national quarterfinal.
What a game we have had on our hands today. Back and forth, momentum changes, runs from each team. Unbelievable defense on both sides. The Bulldogs able to prevail with Bissimo. Bellamiso making a huge save at the end of the game, putting her body on the line to advance to the NCAA quarterfinals.
This is the 50th year of the Yale women's lacrosse program. Prior to last year, they had played in 1 national quarterfinal. They had won 1 game in the NCAA tournament. They have now won 2 in back-to-back years. Those are Erica Bamford's kids. It's a Mother's Day she'll never forget for a 2nd year in a row. But I'll tell you what, Christine, 2 years in a row, Ivy tournament champions, 2 years in a row, hosting the NCAA tournament, and 2 years in a row going to the national quarterfinal. I mean, it's hard to put into words what this group has done, and this would have felt great for them no matter who they beat, but the fact that they beat the team that they beat today, I think makes it just a little bit sweeter.
It was definitely revenge from last year. These 16 seniors, this program means so much, and they just have given their heart for 4 years to this program. And I mean, just a day to celebrate. Their journey's not done yet, right? Because last year they were stopped at the quarterfinals, so they want to go one more. They've been having the national championship as a goal since the beginning of the season. Now
for Syracuse, they will, of course, lose one of the great players in the history of their program in Emma Ward as her career comes to an end today. But outside of 44, pretty much the whole team's going to be back. And I don't think you're going to see Syracuse lose 9 games in a season again anytime soon. But for right now, the story is that team. And as tough of a test as this was, Christine, the test is going to get a heck of a lot tougher on Thursday against BC, the defending champions. But for today, Yale celebrates as they beat Syracuse 9-8 and advance to a second straight national quarterfinal. So glad you could all be with us today and hopefully all weekend here in New Haven. For our entire outstanding crew and my partner Christine Huber, I'm Justin Galanti saying so long. One more time, your final, Yale 9, Syracuse 8, and the Bulldogs survive and advance.